Welcome, selectors, to Weekly Wharf Wixoss. Today we're back with another thrilling showdown featuring the radiant Yuzuki Brilliant Sureflame Beauty against the Summer Queen of Mill herself, Urith, Fanatical Enma. It's a beach battle for the ages. Who will come out on top? Find out next, right here on Weekly Wharf Wixoss. Welcome to the Gamers Wharf in Granville, Michigan. Here, our selectors will do battle to determine this week's Weekly Wharf Wixoss champion. Let's first meet our Elrigs competing today. On the blue side, we have Yuzuki Brilliant Sureflame Beauty, an aggressive Elrig who breaks her and her opponent's life cloth and can make her Signy sneak past her opponent's defenses. She also has access to the powerful Fasone magic crafts. Her pieces include Brain Hearts for card draw and Signy removal, and Connect Spinning for Signy removal, Enter Burn, card draw, and life cloth removal. Her assists give her Enter Recurl and damage prevention with Mel, and card draw and additional life bursts with Eldora. An aggressive package for sure. Next, let's meet our challenger on the red side. Urith, Fanatical Enma, is a mill-focused Elrig who mills both players and can expand the reach of her removal abilities. She also has access to the powerful Fasone magic crafts. Her pieces include Wishin for the extra card draw, and Chaos, Chaos, Chaos for Signy recursion, Signy removal, milling, and recursion denial. Assisting her today is Eldora for her card draw and additional life bursts, and Sangha for her Enter recursion and attack prevention. Before we begin, a few things to note. These are casual matches played at our weekly in-store event. Any mistakes are corrected if caught. We welcome any feedback, including ruling clarifications, questions, or concerns. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Your suggestions may make it onto a future episode of Weekly Wharf Wixoss. With that being said, we hope you enjoy this week's edition of Weekly Wharf Wixoss. Our selectors are making their final preparations. The Elrigs are taking up their positions. The stock crowd noise is cheering. So let's get ready to battle. Red has won the dice roll and will be going first. Red starts us off by Enter-charging and growing to level 1. There's really not much to do on these early turns but put up a decent wall and maybe get a slight advantage somewhere. Red plays Eldora Exclamation to draw 2 cards, then drops a Bang in the top lane, discarding 2 cards to Enter charge 2. Finally, Red plays an Elfo in the bottom lane. This will mill their opponent, but for 1 card for each Signy they have on field. The turn shifts over to Blue, who Enter charges and grows to level 1. Blue plays a Broom Desona, paying 1, looking at the top 3 cards of deck, revealing a Desona Signy and putting it into hand. Blue selects a Carnival Desona, a 3k level 1 that can make a Servant 0. A vanilla 1k Signy with no abilities. Blue decides to play the Carnival Desona in the bottom lane. Moving to the attack phase, Blue has to mill 2 cards, 1 for each Signy they have due to Elfo's ability. Blue then swings with the Carnival Desona, vanishing the Elfo, and follows up with our first life cloth damage of the game, not a burst, and the center Elrig attack is blocked by a Servant, so only 1 damage gets through this turn. Red starts off their turn by Enter charging the Bang in the top lane, and growing to level 2. Red decides to play their piece Wishin, which should have been played on a previous turn as they would have drawn a card on this turn. Red plays a Deus, level 2 in the top lane with no cards beneath it, a Caesar in the center lane, not activating her ability, and an Oigona in the bottom lane, paying 1 to vanish the Carnival Desona. Red then grows Sangha to level 1, getting back 2 cards without a guard to their Enter zone. Moving to the attack phase, Caesar vanishes the Broomstick in the center lane. Deus attacks in the top lane, revealing not a burst. And then the Oigona attacks, revealing a burst, which is enter charge 1 and get a card back from enter to hand or field. Blue chooses to return the Firecracker to hand. Finally, Urith attacks, revealing not a burst. Red manages to connect on 3 out of 4 attacks this turn. That's a very high amount of damage for so early in the game. It does get Yuzuki closer to her assassin making ability, so it's not all bad for Blue. Blue enter charges and grows to level 2, followed by growing Eldora to level 1 to draw 2 cards. Blue plays the Firecracker in the center lane, discarding a Dishonor card to vanish the Caesar. Next we have a Lalaurie in the top lane. This will enter burn if a spell is played this turn. Next, Blue plays Emergence, a spell getting back the Carnival from enter to hand. The Carnival is then played in the bottom lane. Next, Blue grows Mel to level 1, getting 2 cards back without a guard from trash to the enter zone. Choosing 2 red cards to really stock up on that red enter. Moving to the attack phase, since the spell was played this turn, Lalaurie enter burns the green enter from red's enter zone. Red then grows Eldora to level 2. This will either add a down target Signy or draw 2 cards effect to all life cloth revealed this turn. It does stack with existing life bursts. Lalaurie vanishes the Deus in the top lane, and Carnival vanishes the Oigona in the bottom lane. Carnival gets in for some damage, revealing a burst, which will draw a card in addition to the 2 cards from the Eldora. This is a pretty big swing of cards, so that's a pretty good burst for red. Finally, Blue swings in with her Elrig, revealing not a burst, but 2 cards are still drawn due to Eldora's effect. Turn then passes back over to Red, who draws 2 more cards to add to their very large hand. Red decides against intercharging this turn. Red will then grow Urith to level 3. When Urith enters, she will mill both players for 5 cards. Getting Blue to have to refresh at least 1 time this game will be crucial to victory. Phalaris is played in the top lane. If she vanishes a Signy in front of her through battle, Blue will have to mill 10 cards. Red then plays a Musica in the center lane, and a Baphomet in the bottom lane, milling 3 cards and increasing Baphomet's power by 4k. We are now moving to combat, which Musica will minus 2k the Signy in front of it, vanishing the Firecracker. This was originally put in the enter zone, but it would go to trash. This will be fixed later. Blue then plays their own Eldora with the same effect of adding down target Signy or draw 2 cards to every life cloth. Phalaris then kicks off the attack by vanishing the Lalaurie in front of it, milling Blue for 10 cards. Blue is really getting down there on cards. With all the card draw from the Eldora, this will almost be a guaranteed refresh this turn. Refreshing does burn a life cloth, which goes directly into the trash without activating any of its life cloth abilities. Musica attacks next, and when she attacks, you put 2 cards from your trash back into your deck shuffled. Red decides to put back Orion Natural Planet and Maho Maho Memoria back into the deck. The damage is still coming through, and it is not a burst, but does still have the down target Signy effect on it, so the Baphomet is downed. Urith swings across, and we got a burst, but no targets, so draw a card plus the 2 cards from the Eldora effect. With those last 3 cards being drawn, Blue has to refresh, and the burn card is a life burst, which is very unfortunate. The turn passes back over to Blue, who is at a very meager 1 life cloth left. This would allow Yuzuki to give her assassin ability to her Signy, so that is a good thing going for Blue. Blue grows Yuzuki to level 3. When she enters, Blue will crush a life cloth and Red will trash a life cloth. Blue's life burst will draw a card, and Red's trash life cloth was not a burst. Next, Red will play their piece, Connect Spinning. As their center Elrig is level 3, they'll get 3 uses from this piece. The first mode that they choose is to vanish target Signy, which in this case is Flathrol. The next mode chosen is to have Red choose 3 enter from their enter zone and put it into the trash. The choices here are important as Black is very good at getting Signy back from the trash. Finally, Blue discards 2 cards to crush 1 life cloth. This reveals a burst, which is get target Signy without guard from trash to hand or put it onto the field. The Signy chosen is Alpho Disona. Blue plays a Maleficone in the center lane. She can enter charge and recur Signy from the enter zone. Blue then downs 2 Elrigs to awaken the Malfesone. Her inner charge effect only happens if she is awakened. A Broom Desona is played in the bottom lane, paying for its enter ability to look at the top 3 cards and get a Desona card into hand. Blue decides to switch the placement of these 2 Signy, which is fine since these are just casual games. This is due to Musica's ability working on both attack phases. Once the placement is fixed, Blue decides to choose a Carnival Desona from the Broom Desona's ability. Next, Blue plays a Flathrow in the top lane. If Blue can discard 6 cards at the beginning of the attack phase, Flathrow can crush a Life Cloth, which would be very good. Blue then plays an opening signal on the Broom Desona, making it so that when the Broom Desona attacks vanish to 10k or less. We are moving to the attack phase, triggering Malfesone's ability to enter charge 2. Blue does indeed have 6 cards in hand, so they will discard their hand to Flathrow's ability to crush one of Red's Life Cloth. And the Life Cloth is not a burst. Red will then grow Sangha to level 2, preventing the next 2 Elrig and Signy attacks. Note that the attacks still happen, but no damage goes through. Blue needs to decide which Signy attacks will be negated this turn, somehow sneaking that 2 damage in. They start by attacking with Malfesone. As the attack was negated, Malfesone's Vanish ability will not trigger. That Sangha Shake is sure throwing a lot of wrenches into Blue's plan here to get that 2 damage in. Next, the Broom Desona is attacking, triggering the opening salvo, vanishing the Musica in front of it. The attack is still negated. The Flathrow's attack does get through, triggering a burst. This burst will give a Signy minus 8k, targeting the Broom Desona. It all comes down, does Red have a Servant in hand? And they do. Damage prevented. Both sides have no Life Cloth left. Blue may not have any Life Cloth left, but they still do have 1 defensive assist. Red will need to find as much damage as possible to ensure this victory, but it looks very likely. Red activates Urith's Exceed 4 ability, getting Fesone Magic Blazing Red and Fesone Magic Black. Red then plays their piece, Chaos, Chaos, Chaos. They will have 2 choices of the 3 modes. The first choice is to give the Flathrow and the Malfesone minus 10k, vanishing both of them. The second mode chosen is getting up to 3 target Signy that share color with your center from trash back to hand. They chose a Musica, a Maho Maho, and a Typhon Doomed Evil. Red then awakens the Typhon Doomed Evil by exceeding 3, giving it plus 7k, making it a 15k. Finally, in the top lane, Alpha Desona is played, not activating their ability. We quickly move to the attack phase, and Blue gives up no defense, and Red has won. What a game, coming down to the very end. Just 1 servant stood in the way of Blue in victory. Both players drew a lot of cards off of their respective Eldora activations. In the end, the aggression from Urith was just too much for Yuzuki to handle, on top of her already self-damaging ways. Heading over to the scoreboard, the bursts were very even at 3 apiece. Yuzuki did have a 4th burst, but it was put in the trash, so it does not count towards these final totals. We'd like to thank you for watching this week's edition of Weekly Wharf Wixoss. We hope you enjoyed, and we hope to see you on the next one.